This morning we got up bright and early to go visit Fire Island National Seashore. We're in Brooklyn, New York.
And they had the sign up saying how sweet it is, Brooklyn.
This is the bridge going over to Fire Island. So there's a nice path that you walk from the parking lot up to the lighthouse. It's a good walk though. You have to park in the permit parking lot and then walk to the Fire Island lighthouse. There we go.
Generally recognized as the first side of America most immigrants saw when they came from Europe in the 1800s and the 1900s on the way to Ellis Island.
So it's the largest one north of New Jersey?
North of New Jersey.
And it's the seventh tall
in the country.
168 feet tall.
You go to this side all the way over, and then you climb to the top of the stairs here. Look in the land. Don't stay right there at the ball. Look at the top of them. We stop there. Now look in the land. Sit down. Straight across. See them upside down? Yeah. That's the light beam. That's the light beam refraction. That's neat. Now this slide was only operated at night. During the day, they would cover the glass with curtains because they were afraid the sun would shine through the glass and act like a magnifying glass and start a fire. You don't stare directly into the light because it is very bright. But this was operating in the building until the refurbishing in 1974. So if I'm on a ship at sea and I get a flash, and I count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7 and a half, they get another flash. So I know the flash characteristic of this lighthouse is 7.5 seconds. What I then do is do my chart. This is my chart for my boat. And showing up here it tells me Fire Island light. It's here, Fire Island light, 7.5 seconds. So that's how you tell one lighthouse from another at night.
Wow.
Montauk flashes every 5 seconds. No two lighthouses in the same vicinity have the same flash characteristic.
Wow. What is your name? You're fantastic.
My name is Mac.
Mac. Well, you do a really good presentation. Thank you. So the boardwalks and the lighthouse actually survived Superstorm Sandy. The basement of the keeper's quarters was the only thing that was damaged inside the building.
Pacific, a steamer from Argonne, France during World War I. Had 2,969 passengers. Most of them were wounded veterans. They were able to rescue them all after 18 days. This is the gun they used to shoot out the rope to a sinking ship. It's called the U.S. Life Saving Service. The grounding rod. We're at the base. Goes all the way up the top side of the lighthouse.
This is the back side of the lighthouse.
From the thing, the model we were looking at, Dad.
Yeah.
All the stuff's in there.
Everything's in there.
The life preserver, harness thing, big, the cayman. You can reel it out.
Surfside is the name of the boat.
No, that's the side to put there in the surf.
Oh, is it? Okay, well.
It's got two ends.
Stand corrected.
You might call it the surf side, but
It's called the service on both sides of the boat.
What?
It's on both sides of the boat.
Yeah.
On the front?
Uh-huh.
Yes, you put that side towards the surf.
That's the surf side.
It's either.
Okay.
You can't for sure say that it's either one. So
I'm not sure. Maybe it is the side that you put in to the surf.
because it's got double under, it's got
Yeah.
you know pointy end, two pointy ends, so you don't
Yep.
put it in the wrong way in.
It looks like a raceway. It's a nice walk out to the ocean. It'd be nice if it wasn't raining. We spotted a deer on the path back from the lighthouse. So from the parking lot, which is the beach access, I think it was E, wasn't it?
State.
It's a state park. You have to park there. There is no direct access road to the lighthouse, and it's 0.8 of a mile walk on a boardwalk, wooden boardwalk, to the lighthouse. And you go past the sand dunes. And there is handicap parking, I noticed, at the lighthouse, but there's no access road to it, so you would have to call the lighthouse number to find out how you can get back there. And I'll put the number on the video, the lighthouse number. I do have that. So, but I actually thought the lighthouse was very pretty. And there was a gentleman there, Max, who gave us some really good information. Jim?
Mac.
Yeah, Mac.
Oh, his name was Mac. Sorry.
But he
my
was real
bad.
good. He was an older gentleman, but he was a sailor, so he knew some of the ins and outs of the lighthouses and how to read a chart to see.
Grant's tomb is located in a beautiful park. You can visit it on the hour. Below it is a visitor center where his Civil War uniform is displayed.
How to tell when your gray water tank is full? When the water does not go down the sink. We also have a little test thing here where you can click on like gray water. See, it says it's full. Black tank says it's 2/3 full. Fresh water, empty. And battery is GFCL, or G has the little red things. Surprisingly, the water did not start coming out of the shower. Maybe there's some physics thing I don't understand about that. Because I was afraid it would start overflowing to the bottom of the shower.
Nice new morning. We had pancakes this morning for breakfast. We use these fast shake pancake mix. It makes about 5 of them, pretty large size ones, and they come out perfect. So nice and easy, and then
Hardly any mess.
hardly any mess at all. Today is our last day in New York City. We've been everywhere, all 4 boroughs. So today we're going to go to upper part of New York City. It's called Mount Vernon, actually. It doesn't even say New York City, to see St. Paul's Church. It's an old church from the 1700s. And then we're going to go to Oyster Bay, which is where Teddy Roosevelt's summer White House was. And it's also where he passed away. He was also the commander of the Navy there. So we're going to go see those two items, and then tomorrow we're going to move on out of New York City and up through New York and go visit a few sites, and then go into Connecticut and stay all night, probably at a Walmart and Boondock. So that's what's up for today. This is a nice thing. We have the Easy Pass on our car. Yeah. And here's the bottom part, lower level. The altar. So that's what they use to wake up people that fall asleep in church service.
Heard of it before, but
You sit down. Not sure how they even know someone's asleep. To hit them with a feather, or tap them with a feather. There's the organ. Chandelier. There's the cemetery. Buried in here somewhere is one of the doctors that worked on Abraham Lincoln, President Abraham Lincoln, when he was shot at the Ford's Theater. The church had a victory altar flag dedicated at the St. Paul's Church during World War II. Here's the uniform of Lieutenant William H. Weigle. It's W-E-I-G-L-E Jr. He was a St. Paul's soldier. He was the son of St. Paul's minister. He was commissioned and received his pilot wings. He actually died in 2018 at the age. Crossing over from Manhattan to Long Island, New York.
This is a visitor center at Sagamore Hill.
Great adventure. Only those are fit to live who do not fear to die, and none are fit to die who have not shrunk from the joy of life and the duty of life. Both life and death are parts of the great adventure, of the same great adventure. The family divided when the Civil War broke out in 1861. Martha remained loyal to her family in Georgia, but she was worried that her husband Theodore would join the Union cause, and that he would actually meet her brother or cousins on the field. There's a ring that has a strand of Lincoln's hair in it. It was presented to Roosevelt from Secretary of State John Hay the evening of his second inaugural. Okay, so these are the chaps. I'm sure very hard to see through the glass. The Teddy Roosevelt War. And the Dakota Territories. And Spurs.
Branding irons.
And branding irons. Here's his uniform. His hat. So, assassination. On September 6, 1901, President William McKinley was assassinated by that gentleman in Buffalo, New York. He died 8 days later. And on September 14th, 1901, 42-year-old Theodore Roosevelt became the youngest president of the United States. Movie pulpit. Oh, here's his big stick. Speak softly and carry a big stick. Here's the axle of Quinn's airplane that was shot down July 14th of 1918. Okay, so what did we think of the Teddy Roosevelt's house? It's actually the house where he died. What did you think, Jonathan?
Not as interesting as Madison's house, but more interesting than Jefferson's.
Okay. It's definitely worth the trip, I believe. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, it was a fun trip. The house is very interesting. A lot of artifacts in there that are very interesting.
But they wouldn't let us record at all.
Yeah, we couldn't take pictures. Disappointing.
It's a beautiful estate. There's a hiking trail, there's a nice museum, and then the house itself has 27 rooms. It's where he actually passed away, as I said before. It's where he accepted his vice presidency announcement, where they removed a piece of the banister. But it was very interesting, and it talked about his children, his life, and the different rooms. They explain everything, and it is really different on the inside. It's very interesting. We're heading back to New Jersey to hook up and get ready to leave tomorrow with Timon.